And welcome back to Say It Is with Brendan and Tyler. We have a guest with us being Matt Kittle of the Federalist, not to talk politics or anything like that. No, it's ball. We are talking ball. He is a Cubs fan. So thanks, Matt, for coming on the pod.
I'm glad to be here, but you say he's a Cubs fan with a tone of shame in your voice or embarrassment. Why is that?
Well, obviously Tyler is White Sox fan.
Well, everybody has character flaws. We all do.
And everybody sometimes was raised the wrong way.
That's what they say. Only one man walked the earth was perfect, and he ain't on this podcast right now.
Oh no, he isn't. Well, it's like you started as a St. Louis fan growing up, then because WGN moved your way over to the Cubs territory, and just stayed there.
Yeah, you're correct about that. I grew up, first of all, in kind of a Cardinals family because my dad was a huge Cardinals fan, played baseball when he was a kid, and always loved baseball. And my older brothers, considerably older and much less attractive, much less hair. I can say that. Oh, that burns them up. If they watch this podcast, man, would they be ticked off? But yeah, they were big Cardinals fans. They are to this day. And so, they followed in my dad's footsteps, and we played baseball, thinking about the 1982 World Series Cardinals. But I grew up in Wisconsin, Southwest Wisconsin. And so, Brewers fans were all around. But yes, WGN became part of our cable package when we got cable TV. That included the movie channel for some of you old timers out there, free movies you paid for them, but in fact, they ran probably the same 8 movies ad nauseum, including The Elephant Man, which I remember my old man used to say the first time he watched it, it broke his heart. He was so sad about what they did to the Elephant Man. After it was on for the 25th time, he said he was going to take out the Elephant Man if they were going to play that again. But that's when we got WGN and got to watch daily baseball right after school. Got to see cats like the Sarge, Gary Matthews patrolling in the outfield. Got to see guys like Ryan Sandberg, God bless his soul, Hall of Famer. That 1984 Miracle team that had, of course, the Miracle collapse. Going to San Diego and losing 3 straight. My heart is still broken. But I've followed my Cubbies ever since, and that has broken my brother's heart. That broke my father's heart when he was still here with us.
Well, with the All-Star break is wrapping up. The All-Star game just happened. The NL lost 4-0.
Yes. It was a lame game.
It was, yeah. Yeah, and it's like PCA should have started, but that voting system's just all sorts of messed up.
I don't understand it. Is it the new math?
Tyler?
And the New York Yankee won the All-Star MVP.
Sickening.
Yeah, that because of a 3-run home run.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was the extent of the offense in the first inning.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, and then a solo shot by Vargas later on. Otherwise, there was a whole lot of nothing. We have the AL Cy Young, which is between basically Cam Schlittler and Dylan Cease, I believe. The NL MVP is between PCA and Ohtani. Cy Young being Christopher Sanchez and Miz. The AL MVP is looking like it's like Junior Caminero and Bobby Witt.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been Murakami if he didn't get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's an old saying my old man used to have about that. Wish in one hand and do something in another and see which one fills up faster.
Yeah.
I know this is a family show, so I'm
Oh,
gonna keep it
no,
clean.
I never said that it was. You can say whatever you want. I
All
don't
right, well
care.
then let me go back on the record. Wish in one hand, shit in another, and see which one fills up faster. That'll break
Yeah.
it down for you.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Damn it! Oh, I'm just swearing now.
Oh,
You
geez.
gave me license for the whole blue
Oh.
routine.
Oh no, it's fine. It's most definitely fine. Anyways, do you have any idea of what could transpire for the next 57 games, because there was 95 games played ish?
As I can tell you, as a Cubs fan, a lot of anxiety because this team, as you both well know, has been up and down. And when their highs are high, but their lows are so low.
Win
And
10 games, lose 10 games.
Exactly. And then, last year I still have a little bit of, little bit of trauma that is unleashed about this time of the year, because that's when really, well, I guess it started before the All-Star game, but the Cubs went again last year, got off to a really hot start. Looked like they were going to be the best in the NL, and then they just forgot how to hit.
And then the Brewers came up and said hello.
Exactly, knocked on the door, and then we had the two old buddy managers fighting it out. And that, but I tell you what, though, that was a hell of a wild card series, though. Went down to the wire, finished off in Milwaukee. I think in the National League Central, Milwaukee is still the team to beat. They are well managed, and
Yes.
and I have to say, I've been impressed with Craig Counsell. I was impressed with Craig Counsell in Milwaukee. I think he has really come into his own in Chicago. It's not really his management. It is a lack of players, and players performing up to their reputations, up to their standards. We have a few of those on the Cubs that did that, but I think Milwaukee is a class act. You mentioned the Miz. I mean, that guy he's a phenom in the same way. I mean, think about all of the names. I'll just do it from a little bit past my memory and where I was, but Bob Gibson coming up with the Cardinals organization. I mean, they had to change the mound for Bob Gibson.
And MLB on Fox, to go off topic, did come out with if the postseason started today. So on the NL side, of course, you're going to have excuse my language, but the fucking Dodgers.
Ooh, well, this is a salty show.
The Dodgers would be in the NLDS because, cheaters.
Yes.
The Cubs yes. The Cubs would play the Phillies, which I honestly think that the Cubs would win that series. They have a strong team, but I just think the Phillies are just too old and gassed out to kind of win anything in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Milwaukee, of course, would be a bye. They most likely would play Atlanta. Most likely.
No, so Milwaukee would go up against the winner of the
Mariners and Atlanta.
Yeah. Now, well, hold on a moment. So your Tyler buddy, the number 2 seed would go up against either number 3 or number 6 seed in the
not according to this.
No. Sure about that?
You want to come look at it?
I'm just gonna pull it up right now.
Here, I'll send it to you.
Well, this is getting interesting.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, fine.
Here.
Okay, because I was like the 3-4. No, is it the 4-5 goes plays the first
don't
seed.
yell at me on this. Yell at Fox, because this is Fox's thing.
Oh yeah, well okay, this makes sense because Atlanta is currently ahead of Philly. So
I think I'm just pulling shit out of my ass.
Whatever.
Going to the
you guys are a bickering old couple. That's what
we
this
are.
show's about, isn't it?
Not always.
But the AL side,
I'm just having fun.
The AL side, the Yankees would play Cleveland. I for sure hope that Cleveland would actually win that because nobody wants the Yankees in the playoffs.
I don't.
I
don't want the Dodgers in the playoffs, but again, wishing one hand, shit in the other, and see which one fills up faster. I think that's the theme here.
Yeah, Tampa Bay would probably play Cleveland. Mm-hmm. The White Sox would probably play. I think they would play Seattle, to be honest with you, because it would be between a wild card between Seattle and Texas.
You think Seattle holds on, though? They have a way of disappointing Mariners fans.
Yeah, I know, but Texas is Texas.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, well, it's like the thing with the AL, it's so bad, and Seattle's like blaming part of the stuff on the WBC for Cal not performing. Then they have too much starting pitching. Some of their guys are just having an off year in general. And
that's a good question, though. What happened to Cal?
Yeah, he didn't get enough playing time during the WBC, and then he got hurt for a bit, so he never got moving. But with the rest of the AL, it's like they all have losing records against the NL outside of Texas. But otherwise, the entirety of the AL is so bad where you could have a 6th seed with a losing record.
Wow. That's where we are in baseball today.
Who would the 6th seed be? Seattle?
Seattle or Texas would be the 6th seed. Maybe even Cleveland.
How about the A's?
The A's?
Yeah, they could be the 6th seed too, but
they are 41 and 55.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, if you want to go like over wild card standings, like this is why the trade deadline this year is so interesting too.
They've lost their last 9. They've only won once.
Yeah, well, it's like, so if we look at the AL wildcard standings, let me scroll down.
Athletics are near the bottom.
Yeah, so like Seattle and Minnesota are tied for the last wildcard spot right now, and Boston is a half a game back. Houston's game and a half. Detroit's only 3.5 back.
The fact that Boston and Detroit are anywhere in the picture, the way they have played for a lot of this season, I think is amazing in and of itself, and I think it really does expose just how weak the AL is.
Boston has won 9 in a row.
Yeah, they won a hot streak.
Well, they're on a hot streak, but they weren't on a hot streak for a good portion of
No,
May.
they were last.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was ugly, and like I know Will was saying they should just fire Breslow into the sun and things like that. We'll be seeing them in a couple weeks.
What happened to Toronto?
I wish I could tell you.
That's the thing about the AL. I mean, you have teams that are way underperforming with the lineups and the cash that they have. Even the Yankees have underperformed, certainly. I think everybody in that division is surprised that Tampa just keeps, pushing them back over and over again. But here's the thing. It's the All-Star game. I know it really doesn't mean all that much. But the AL won that game, and nobody within this powerhouse hitting lineup for the National League could seem to answer the pitcher question for the AL. I mean, it was just amazing. So
yeah,
you get to a World Series, you get to the playoffs, more than anybody, or as much as anybody. Anything can happen.
Indeed. And so do you have any idea what the the trade deadline could look like? Like today, you just had a trade for between Milwaukee and Houston. A lot of the AL, I think, is going to be both buying and selling. Where Lance McCullers and another guy went to Milwaukee for Jaden Fielder. And that's just pitching reclamation projects. The Cubs need pitching in general and a bat. The Seattle needs bats for right-handed pitchers, not right-handed, left-handed pitchers, whatever. Ref Snyder has not been it for them. The White Sox need long-term pitching, so like a Detmers type. But what we're running into is a lot of the AL won't figure out their sellers until it's like within like 3 days of the deadline.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is that the trading deadline that I grew up with is a lot different today than it was, because you have all of these interseason trades going on. How many different trades, and some pretty big name trades, of course, in the first half of the year.
Here's some good news for you Cub fans.
Mm.
Apparently, there's a Portillo's opening just steps from the field.
Oh, yes. That is good news. Not necessarily good news for the
not for the team,
not for the Wrigley Field bathrooms. Things could get really bumpy.
Do they still have those troughs?
Yeah, they do.
God. I thought they said they got rid of them.
Well, I haven't been back in a couple of years. I am going back in August, and my father-in-law and I and my son will be taking in a White Sox Cubs game, crosstown rival. And I will give you the full picture. I'll send you guys a note from the bathroom, urinal or regular toilet, or is it
or is it the horse trough?
What are the is it the horse trough, a regular urinal, or what are those things that shoots water up your ass?
Bidets?
A bidet. How about that at Wrigley Field?
Yeah. Oh, well.
Use a bidet today. You'll thank yourself.
Well, with Troopus, what was it like? Tyler, you said, or was it like off when we were not recording? When you said that Wrigley is not a baseball cathedral. Boston is the only baseball cathedral.
Yeah, no, Wrigley Field is not a baseball cathedral.
Are you kidding me?
It's a historic field.
It's a historic field. That's a cathedral. Wait a minute. Hold on a second there, Mr. Grumpy Pants.
Have you ever been? Comiskey would have been a cathedral.
Have you? Well, Comiskey is long torn down. Now I don't even know what the hell the name of the stadium is anymore. Well, no. Have you ever been at Wrigley Field?
Once.
Okay. And when you were there, now you're a White Sox fan, so you're polluted. But I can't believe that when you stepped inside of that cathedral, you didn't feel the spirit of Hack Wilson there. No. You didn't feel the spirit of Leon Bull Durham, although he's not dead. But just, all of these great three-finger Brown pitching with only 3 fingers, for the love of God.
I went there and I said, is it time to go home yet?
Wow.
And this was when they were at 100-loss season, by the way.
Yeah, you've had some of those. I will say this. I am not the usual Cubs hate the White Sox kind of guy.
I can actually have a conversation.
Yeah. It's not like the U.S. and Iran right now. But I will say this. My father-in-law is a White Sox fan. So when we go see the Cubs in August, it's going to be, my son is a Cubs fan. My father-in-law is a White Sox fan. So we're going to have fun rooting against each other's teams. But, I like to see Chicago teams other than the Bears do well. I never want the Bears to do well. I'm a Packers fan. And I can't. And I grew up I've told you this before, that I grew up in Platteville, which used to be the home, of course, of the summer training camp for the Chicago Bears, right after they won the 85 Super Bowl and 86, right? 85. And never won it again. So we had lots of Bears fans in Southwest Wisconsin, but I'm a Packer fan. But no, I think the turnaround, don't you, for the White Sox this year it's amazing.
They have completely turned around.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think that is? I mean, I know that they were on schedule for a couple years down the road. They have some good arms. They obviously have a very good bat at first base. But why do you think that is?
I just think they traded away the old talent and they brought in, people like Murakami and Vargas has been here for a couple of years, but he wasn't that great when he was with LA. So we brought him out in 25 and 24, but he's been doing very well. Both the Montgomery players have been doing well, even though I think Braden is he in the AAA now?
No, he's in the majors. He's primarily the right fielder, and Grichuk is the platoon DH.
I thought they moved Braden Montgomery back down to get somebody else up.
I didn't see that at all.
But they're platooning, right?
That's a DH.
Yeah, they're platooning. So here's my thing. And I think what has been lacking these last few years was clubhouse motivation.
Yeah.
They did not have a lot of motivation. Even when they were playing during 24 and 25, they did not have a lot of motivation at all.
I wouldn't have a lot of motivation in 24.
No, no.
I wouldn't want to go to the damn field. I think I'd want to hit the Portellos.
I didn't even go to the field. So before this year, I haven't been to a White Sox game since 2021 because of how bad they were.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. I mean, but then Colorado said, "Hey, hold my beer."
I mean,
we're going to do this.
They do play at the best bar in Denver.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the beer flows. You can't taste it at a mile high.
And no, you can't. And I looked this up. It only costs $3 for a beer there.
That is awesome.
Coors Light,
or no, any beer. I think not just Coors.
I was going to say, Coors is all around. So, but Coors is involved in the family of beers now. So they will sell a lot of actual good beers, or they'll sell piss in a can, which is what they do with Coors.
But that's what Coors Light is. It's piss in a can, and it tastes like water.
Right. You know where they get that piss in a can? Right from the trough. Right from the troughs at Wrigley.
I thought it was also the tears of the Colorado Rockies fans.
It was, yes, the tears of the children in particular.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That's where you get the light. It's sad. It's sad for the kids. It's sad for Denver. And I don't care either way. Although one of my favorite ball players of all time went there and just dropped off the face of the earth. Yes. I always felt bad about that. That's baseball.
I think after his win with the Cubs, God, I hate saying that.
I love hearing it.
He just stopped caring, I think, after that.
I think he was still very much disgruntled about how things ended. And I think that took the wind out of him.
I know him and the clubhouse were really at edge with each other, I think.
Yeah, it was sad. It was sad to see that breakdown, because that was, the Cubs went through the same sort of awfulness, not to the full extent of the White Sox, but you remember 2000 after the Lou Piniella years.
Oh God!
They had the rebuild from what was that cat's name? He's been in the Cubs organization for a long time, but he coached where I am right now in Des Moines, Iowa, for the AAA Iowa Cubs for a long time. They brought him up to be the bridge, and then of course that's when they brought in Madden, and then Madden shaped that team up to be just an absolute powerhouse. And it was like anything in baseball, got a stroke of very good luck, because Jake Arrieta was not the dominant pitcher that he became for a season and a half in particular with the Baltimore Orioles.
And then he fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, but man, that was a beautiful run and a beautiful ride, and the breaking of the curse. Speaking of the curse, did you guys see that the owner of the Billy Goat died?
I didn't see that, no.
I've heard about that, but that's as far as that went.
Maybe we talked about that on the radio, but the Billy Goat Tavern across the street is, that's tied into Wrigley Field and all of the lore. And then, of course, there's the guy who brought his billy goat, and that's the name why the tavern is named after it. He brought his billy goat. He's the guy who issued the curse, if you remember, and of course, 100 plus years of futility.
Of course. Well, it's like curses are primarily done by demonic energy. I could be wrong. I have to brush up on stuff.
But we're not going to have a seance here, are we?
No.
Okay.
That's
okay.
last.
Right, very good.
Yeah. No. But it was like I was doing DoorDash and you texted me like, "Hey, I should go turn on the Lord's team that's been around for 150 years."
Yeah.
And obviously that you were referencing the Cubs. And I think that was the same day I got done. We just got done recording with Jim Trupus, and I was like, I can't turn that on because I just got done recording a White Sox episode.
You got to clean that out of your brain. That's what you needed to do.
Oh no. And
better on the Cubs.
Well, it's like
there's going to be some cursing from Tyler here pretty soon.
Oh, I know. So how about this? Why don't you both tell me why your favorite team is the Lord's team, other than the White Sox have the Pope?
The White Sox do have the Pope. Go ahead. I want to hear your explanation.
White Sox have the Pope.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, they had a mess at that field. They have had such success in the past, few months that I haven't seen since the 05 team. And I believe that it's just, they might not be in a World Series for a while, but at least just winning the division and making the playoffs would make me happy. Just like they did in 21.
Maybe they need to bring back the Oz, huh?
He was thinking about it a few years ago, but then he just started broadcasting for the post-game shows. Gotcha. I know they're supposed to retire his number in August. So
that'll be an interesting celebration. Yeah. You do have that whole Black Sox thing, though. Did you want to bring that up? I know it's all about bygones be bygones, but that was rough.
Yes, 1917. We're in the present. Let's move on from that.
Yeah, and it's
hard to call it a cathedral or the Lord's team when you had so much of that going on. But then again, people love the Reds, and they had Pete Rose, Phillies, and all of that sort of thing. To me, the Cubs are the Lord's team because Jesus, my Lord and Savior, taught us what suffering was, real painful suffering. And that's what it was like to be a Cubs fan. And I talked to a lot of folks, when I was a kid.
Oh, you want to talk?
Who were old and still were not alive when the Cubs had won the World Series at that point.
You want to talk about suffering? How about being the worst team in baseball history?
Yeah.
That's suffering.
That is true. That'll cause a lot of sores. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So, Matt, I got a trade idea that I'm going to be writing up a thing on Substack with next week for a trade that, once again, is between the Cubs and Seattle. There is such a perfect trade match there, is unbelievable.
Are you going to put Matty in there again? Matt Shaw? You want to get rid of Matt Shaw no matter what.
Do they have a place for him outside of the outfield after Suzuki or Happ is gone?
Yeah, they do. That's Matt Shaw. His hitting has always been the issue. His fielding is exceptional. He played, of course. He plays just about every position in the infield, and now he's learning the outfield, and I think he's acquitted himself very nicely. And I do think he has he has trade value, and you always like this Seattle.
Yes, I do.
I think I know where you're going with this trade talk.
So the Cubs need a starter, right? Seattle has like 6 starters, and then they have another like 3 that are ready to go. At least like 2 or 3 ready to go. So Seattle would pay off or like hold on to half of Luis Castillo's contract. In return, the Cubs would have to send over Seiya Suzuki and either a first base prospect or Shaw. And then that would be an even enough trade, but then again, it's a seller's market, so you might have to include Shaw in there. And the seller's market is not exactly pretty because of how many like true sellers there are. I'm thinking that like the sellers are going to be a little greedy and you have to pay a little bit extra. And there's going to be some major leaguers for major leaguers being traded.
Yeah, no, I mentioned before the AL, we could see the sellers market, the trade market, holding on, these teams waiting and waiting until the last minute, because if you are 6 games under 500, you have a chance right now.
Yes.
And it's not a Dumb and Dumber chance. You have a legitimate chance to finish in a wild card spot and maybe first in your division. So much is subject to change. Much is subject, of course, to injury.
We want to talk about the injuries? Like I have the entire injury list right now for the Cubs pulled up. You have Edward Cabrera, you got Hunter Harvey, Shelby Miller.
Yeah, that's why the bullpen has been decimated, and the starting lineup is an issue. Although they got Matthew Boyd back, and he seems to be coming back into old form. Remember, he was an all-star last year.
Yep, and then what else? They got Porter Hodge, Hobie Milner, Justin Steele is still out. Ben Brown is out for at least another week. Cade Horton's out. Palencia's back out.
And Palencia had pretty much secured the closing role. Yeah. So we have a closer by committee, and I don't believe that Thielbar it's at 39 years old can be relied on for long-term inning relief. So they need bullpen help in particular.
Yes,
they got that kid from was it Philadelphia or the Mets?
David Pearson from the Mets. They have him in the starting rotation right now.
Yeah, and I so far, now this is all subject to change, whatever they did with him, they got him inducing ground balls again. And he got away from that at the Mets, and I think the Mets' poor management didn't do anything with him. But Tommy, the pitching coach, and the guys in the bullpen, I think they've really worked with him to get his pitching style back, because he's not going to be a strikeout guy. He's going to be a ground ball guy.
Yeah, and I'm also looking at I think the Cubs could be rebuilding within a couple of years. As I'm looking through this minor league system of theirs, and I'm not impressed. Not impressed. I've
seen them play.
That's true. You have
here at Principal Park, and I'm here to tell you, I wasn't impressed. I watched a game where they had come back in the latter stages to tie it up. They played 11 innings, and in the 11th inning, they gave up 6 runs.
Yeah,
and that happens all the time with the AAA team. There are some interesting prospects coming up in the lower divisions. Yeah,
but there's not a lot. It's pretty bare bones. They're the bottom third of the league in farm system. 2 massive trade deadlines away, and they have no farm system.
Yeah, but they do have active players that they can move for some position, and active players that are needed in the marketplace, bats and arms.
Yeah, so that's why they're going to have to trade away some major league talent for probably some assistance this year. But then they need to go use some prospects to get a bat, and whoever bat's available, and overpay. I don't think it's going to be exactly pretty.
Well, the ownership does not like to overpay.
Nope.
A lot of times does not like to pay. And so we'll see. This is a team that is, clearly at this point playoff bound, but to go anywhere in the playoffs, they're going to need to get some arms and some bats. Their defense has been fantastic.
Yes.
It's never wavered, and in football they say defense wins championships. Bad defense in baseball can cost you championships.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Outside of that, Tyler, you have anything else that you want to add in for anything, like for what the White Sox are doing and what they should be trained for? Because I have
I don't really
idea
have
what
anything.
you don't really have anything.
I don't really have anything that they need to trade for.
Outside maybe like a Detmers or a type.
I don't know. But playoff wise, I think if the stars line up, they can go somewhere.
They need to get hot at the right time.
The AL is shit.
Yes.
But they still produce good teams that could still give the White Sox a run for their money.
Yes. And the World Series this year is more or less the NLCS.
Well, I think there's a lot to that. Just based on the record, we'll see if some of the leaders in the AL start putting some distance between them. Because a lot of this stuff is, like we said before, it's you have so many bad teams that are within striking distance of being a wild card or a division leader, and that's awful.
I mean, look at the AL Central. Cleveland and the White Sox have been going back and forth all season.
Right, and then there's Minnesota that is, again, they still have a chance. As rough as last year was, and then trying to figure out this year after dumping a lot of players, and then really being in a rebuilding year, they've stuck around.
Yeah, so they're looking at buying because of it. They should be selling, but they're buying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know what they can afford. I'm not familiar with their farm system, so
no, I have to dig around an OOTP just to take a look at all the numbers easily and just look at all their players. Otherwise, because it gives me a full updated list every time I hit live start for literally everyone in the system. But
is Harmon Killebrew still with them?
That's funny.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Let me update my list. Harmon Killebrew is no longer with the team of life. So that's my bad. My father-in-law used to watch, he told me about these stories. He used to watch games up at the old, not the Metrodome, but the municipal stadium. Was that what it was called at the time?
Or it's the Metrodome.
Not the Metrodome. This was before that was built. So we're talking about in the late 50s and 60s.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And so it didn't have a corporate name or any of those, super duper names. What was it? Was it municipal? Not municipal. Something like that. I should know this. Anyway, he would go up there because he was an Iowa boy and lived about 3.5 hours south of Minneapolis. So they would go up on a couple of family trips to the old ballpark. And that's when Harmon Killebrew and some of the other Twins greats were playing. And he told me that he watched the Yankees play. He was a Yankees fan in his childhood, and he wanted to see Mickey Mantle. And he got to see Mickey, and Mickey was great. He was drunk, but he was great, happy, smiling, probably because he was drunk. But then he walked, I think it was before the game, he walked up as, the the teams are taking batting practice and running the field and all of that. And he went up, there were a bunch of kids went up to Harmon Killebrew, and he said, can I have your autograph, Killer? Because that's what they used to call him, the Killer. It's like Jerry Lee Lewis on the piano, the Killer. And Harmon Killebrew turned to those kids and said, no, I don't have time for that. Get out of here, you kids. What a dick.
Yeah. I mean, like,
well, and everybody said, everybody would tell me all the time, and I heard it again recently. Oh, he was a gentleman. He was a great guy. Maybe he was having a bad day, but the Killer was, well, he's kind of a dick.
Yeah. Well, like Tyler, haven't you said before that the Minnesota fans are just outright terrible, which is why you kind of don't want to go back to Minnesota?
Yes, they're all dicks.
Just like Harmon Killebrew.
Yes,
the Killer. They do have a very nice stadium. I have enjoyed.
They have a nice stadium.
Twin stadiums.
They have a nice stadium, but their fans are obnoxious and they're all dicks.
Well, they're Vikings fans too, so that makes them extra obnoxious. Yeah, it's just it's in the water up there. That's why they have so much disorder in Indianapolis, because they're Viking and Twins fans, and I think they have a complex. I think it's the asshole complex, and that's what happens when you have the asshole complex. You're terrible to other human beings.
Well, you're heading to Fat Bastardland next month. Tyler and I are heading back down to Fat Bastardland for another White Sox home game because he wants the Moon A bobblehead on the 26th. Yeah, it's.
Who the hell doesn't want a Moon 8 bobblehead?
That's true.
I do.
But the problem is going to the only problem is you have to go again, Fat Bastardland.
Yeah, that is always a problem with going to a Cubs game or a White Sox game.
I lived in Fat Bastard Land.
That's true. You did.
Did you live in Fat Bastard Land when Fat Bastard was holding the keys to the kingdom?
Yes.
Okay. All right. See, I was born in Fat Bastard Land.
So was I.
But that was in the early 70s. So, Fat Bastard was probably at that point, what would he have been in high school, maybe, living a very pampered life. Yeah. So he could one day become Governor Fat Bastard and screw up my home state.
Yeah, well.
And isn't he a Cubs fan too?
Yes, but
okay.
I don't.
You don't claim him.
Again, as I said at the outset of this award-winning program, people have character flaws.
Yes, that's indeed true.
And some people have more character flaws. That guy has no moral compass. So I don't count him as a Cubs fan.
When I was born, Jim Edgar was the governor of Illinois.
Oh, yeah. One of the few who didn't go to prison.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. So, Matt, one last question for you.
All right.
For any new baseball fans out there who are trying to pick a team, or otherwise they can just go my route, which is what I recommend. It's more fun. Why should they become Cubs fans compared to, let's say, like a St. Louis fan or a Dodger fan or Yankee fan?
Okay. Well, I think that's easy. But first of all, you don't have an allegiance to it.
I don't have an allegiance to it.
Maybe the Brewers a little bit, but it's a passing allegiance because this is your home state. But no, I think you're encouraging kids. You say, listen, it's kind of like this. My kids are in their teen years, okay? And you see me. That's why the hair is so gray, right? And you always tell the kids, stay away from bad people. Stay away from drugs, right?
Yep.
Stay away from things that will hurt you. And that's the same thing I tell them about the Cardinals and the Dodgers and the Yankees. Stay away. They'll hurt you.
The The Dodgers will just throw money in your face.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Or have me whacked.
Yeah.
They have enough money to have me whacked.
Yeah. They have enough money to have us all whacked. They're
That's
backed by a
exactly right.
Japanese investment company.
Right.
And then like
Otani
St. Louis is
International.
almost, yeah. And St. Louis is just brilliant. Nothing less than that. Like they're brilliant. They're almost done with the rebuild that they are just started.
If we're talking about Otani International Airport, shall we talk about Donald J. Trump International Airport in Florida?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's for another show, though.
Yeah, that is definitely for another show.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. You're always welcome to come back.
It was a good fun. As I say, this is quite a show. That's why it's an award-winning show, and it has featured some of the greatest guests of all time, including my good friend Jim Trupis, who again is a very good man who has a terrible character flaw as a White Sox fan. But that doesn't mean he's not a good man. So
no, he's an excellent guy. He's just going through bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Tyler would tell you the same, but I really enjoyed it, and looking forward to talking to you. Maybe we can do something when we get to the postseason. Huh?
Maybe that's an idea.
All right, or maybe you want Trupis back on because maybe the White Sox are your division leader.
Ooh, or have you both on at the same time.
Yeah, how about that?
That's an idea.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, you can find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. You can also go on Substack. You can go on a lot of different places to listen to us. The socials will be in the description. Please hit the subscribe and download button. Download doesn't cost any phone storage, it's a cloud storage space. It lets you listen to us offline. And then rate us like 5 stars if you like us, 4 stars if you don't, because of algorithm reasons. Until next time.
You know why I like this show so much? I got to tell one final closing point.
Okay.
There's no gratuitous nudity. And I appreciate it because there are a lot of podcasts out there with gratuitous nudity. There's a lot of foul language on this show, but
gratuitous nudity. I've never seen a podcast with gratuitous nudity on it.
Oh my goodness! Have you ever watched have you ever taken in the Sean Hannity podcast?
No.
The guy is naked from the beginning. Sits there Indian style. It's very uncomfortable for him. And for all of the viewers, yeah.
Hey, at least this podcast is audio only, so they will not see our faces or anything.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. All right, until next time.
All right, thanks again.
Bye. Yep, of course. Bye.